The champ! The champ! Proved everybody wrong, beating a very dangerous Diego Lopes. What was that like?
Most people are going to be defense first. He is just, as soon as you fight, I'm firing. Like, knowing that I'm throwing a big overhand right, like, it's going straight for the chin, but he's like, oh, this is my shot. Oh. And you know what I mean?
How much longer do you want to fight? Like, have you ever thought about that?
I had the 2 losses.
Yep.
I had the preparation or to come back.
Resurgence?
Yeah, the resurgence. I ain't looking to do a resurgence ever again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
You got Movsar, who's been on an 18-fight win streak, and then you also have Yair Rodriguez, right? Which one excites you the most out of all those guys?
We have a rankings for a reason. You earn your spot, you get it.
What says a Movsar is number 1?
He should be number 1. I don't even know if he is, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. Max Holloway's number 1.
What one you going on?
UFC Rankings.
Oh, you just need to fix that. But anyway.
Oh, it's 15-time world champion, Demetrious Johnson. You're listening to the MightyCast.
What's going on, guys? This episode of the MightyCast is sponsored by PrizePicks. Now, PrizePicks is a daily fantasy sports game we can play directly from your phone. It's very simple. Grab that phone, go to your app store, download PrizePicks. And when you do that, use my promo code MightyCast. Cool promotion going on right now. All you gotta do is play $5, make your lineup, mixed martial arts, CSGO, Rainbow Six Siege, NHL, NBA, it'll be back. NFL, it'll be back soon. And no matter what happens in that lineup, you're going to $50. So guys, make sure you get the picks in at the right place, which is PrizePicks. Now, shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring this episode of the MightyCast. Now, let us enjoy this chat with the champion, the great Alex Volkanovski.
Demetrious, how are you, mate? Nice to meet you. Jake.
Jake, nice to meet you, Jake. All right, man. Well,
all right.
have a seat.
And, you know, we could probably chat about that, but yeah, better not.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Okay. All right. We're all rolling, my friend. We're rolling. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the great Alex Volkanovski, the champ. The champ.
So when we chatted, it was before the fight, wasn't it?
It was before the fight. Yeah, it was before the fight. Great chat. First off, great fight. You know, I'm always, we talked about when we make predictions, you try not to be very biased, right? You sit down, you make an educated guess of what you think is going to happen on past fights. Obviously, Diego Lopes was, he looked good against Brian Ortega, fast hands, great jiu-jitsu, even though he doesn't use it. You obviously coming off the fights with Topuria, and then the other gentleman. Who did you fight before Topuria? Islam. So for me, I'm like, man, and you all obviously getting older, right? My black ass got older.
Big break as well.
Yeah, big break. You came back. You looked amazing. You circled away from her power. You always kept him turning. You kept him always guessing. He couldn't keep up. He wasn't on your level. So congratulations on that. You looked absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was man. It was good. Like, obviously we knew what we were gonna get from Diego.
Yep.
I was able, as you said, like you would have seen what I was doing. I didn't really have to make any more adjustments. It was, you know, he was following and not really cutting off. Like, especially someone I don't want to get too technical, because then you're like for the next fights and stuff like that.
I think you get very technical, because obviously whoever you're going to fight next, whether it's going to be Yair Pico, if it's going to be Movsar, or if it's going to be Yair Rodriguez, I think all three of those guys' style are different from Diego Lopes, right? Like Diego Lopes, he stands there, he waits, and then he's trying to catch you in that shootout. Where Yair, big kicks, very wild. Aaron Pico, he's more of a sniper, trying to be, right? You go back to his Bellator days, and then Movsar, he's gonna try to fucking maul you, right? So obviously totally different, but continue. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, exactly right. And not just that, like if they do, I'm just going to change it up anyway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the thing. That's what people are like, oh, he does this. Like, the good thing is and you would understand, if you have answers for something I'm doing, then like I've always got options. I've got options from what you give me.
Yep.
And that's so that's why I don't mind sometimes giving a bit of information, but then I try and, I guess, more for the coaches to be like, oh, stop saying stuff all the time, you know? But for me, I'm like, oh, well, if they want to do it, whatever. But with him, I was able to just keep turning him, and he would follow.
Yep.
For someone with his style, being so, aggressive, power shot, not scared of getting hit.
Yep.
If he was that little bit better at like cutting off.
Yep. Throwing body kicks.
I think
throwing because
that's a part of like cutting off, using things to cut off, right?
Yes.
Cutting off isn't just.
Yes.
There's so many things that you can do to.
I don't want to talk too much. Somebody, smart guy goes, "We're gonna cut this motherfucker off. We're gonna turn it." Okay, I'm gonna.
Exactly. There's so much you can do to start, making a half room and corner them where you want to and stuff like that. And for someone who's going to be so willing to eat shots, just so like, because he would literally, most people are going to be defense first.
Yes.
And when I say defense first, even if they want to counter a shot, they're usually wanting a slip counter or you know what I mean, or putting the head in the right position to fire. He is just, as soon as you fire, I'm firing. Like it's like not one bit of defense on his mind at all, which is dangerous. Yeah. But obviously you can land a lot on him. Yep. But I mean, if he was to add a couple more to it, I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with moving on. I think he will learn a lot from that. Yeah, And if he does, and with that chin, and obviously power and stuff, he can be one tough guy. Because a lot of people aren't going to just.
They're going to exchange. They're not going to do that.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know how they could. Like, I mean, yourself, when it comes to technique and all that, and it's always going to come down to. Hit and not be hit type sort of style, right? I want to be in positions where you can't get me and I can get you, and I guess he's just fine with not doing that, which is crazy, which we sort of expected. But like even just trying to catch an uppercut, knowing that I'm throwing a big overhand right, and he would just you know exactly where that my overhand right's going. Like it's going straight for the chin, but he's like, "Oh, this is my shot." And you know what I mean? And credit to him, it got me a couple of times. I'm like, far out, like this bloke. But
you made adjustments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You made the adjustments, right? Like when you guys going to that fight, I sat down and watched, and I was like, man, Volk you're so good about changing the puzzle piece of the fight and being on. You don't deviate from the game plan. Even when you fought Yair. You hit him, you hurt him, and then as you hurt him, it wasn't like you came across the void, you feinted, you threw a couple shots, then you took him down, right? Like you're so intelligent that you never deviate from the game plan. So once you did get rocked from Diego, you stayed on that game plan of always turning him, And then when you showed pieces of you actually training, like pop, angle, pop, exit to the right, I'm like, okay, he's using more, not that you never did before, but you can see that your intelligence is the driving force of like your success now that you're showing that piece of your training. And like when I watched the fight and then seeing that training partner, I was like, yeah, dude, I was very impressed that you were able to get it done at the age that you are. Because you're 38?
37.
You're 37.
No, well, 37, sorry, soon,
37
September,
soon. Like when I got to that age, I'm like, it's a lot of work. I don't want to move as fucking much. I want to be, because in the beginning of my career, I moved so much. Now I'm like, can I not move? Can I just be here? And that's why I got knocked the fuck out, right? And for you to be able to do that, I was just impressed by that. So I wanted to give you your flowers and just, and I picked against you. And a lot of people in this space, go ahead.
I want to give you credit for that as well. Because you mentioned, I wanted to bring it up at the start when you talk, because you're right. I'm always so worried, I'm always going to have the bias. And I'm always doing that, and I like the guy, I can't, bet against him. And even though I know, man, this is a tough fight. And I'm bad for that. So I literally always been like, I'm not biased, or maybe you know I'm biased. I'll sit there and I'll say that, let them know, because I'm doing my picks. Just be aware that I'm biased and I've got their back. You know what I mean? So I sort of give a heads up that if I know him, there could be a bias there. So I'm trying to be with you. You're like I believe this, and I respect that a lot. And one thing with me, I don't take offense to that at all. And I even said going into that fight, and you would have heard me. I'm like, everyone has every right to doubt me. I mean, even I'm going to prove it, not to everyone, but I'm going to prove it to myself. As well. So it's been a while since I've been there. The last 2 times I went in there, I got knocked out. Do I feel like the exact same fighter I did 2 years ago? No, I don't. Do I still think I can do it? Yes, I do. But I need to show, not only myself, I'll show the world that everyone has every right to doubt me, which was good. I'm usually trying to find, because I love being the underdog. I've got that underdog sort of mentality. I've always had that, and I've always been the underdog. It's just how I've always looked at it. So I'm always looking for it. I didn't have to go looking this time.
Because you're already there.
It was plain and simple. It's like I didn't have to look for someone saying or and using that as motivation. It's like, like I'm a young, hungry prospect who's got KO power. I'm coming off 2 KO losses.
Yeah.
Massive break. Yeah. All right. Everyone has every right. I should be the underdog. I end up being the favorite for that one.
Really?
But, yeah.
Because that's just a test to how good you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's not like you got beat by people who weren't good. You got beat by the best fighter in the world, Islam, and then Ilia Topuria. You got beat by him, and you were coming off back to back. Who knows how that fight would have went if you would have taken a long break after Islam, right? If you're like, you know what, I'm going to chill, fine, because we talked about the podcast last time, like, I have a newfound respect or outlook on, like, there's something after fighting, right? My daughters, my wife, all that stuff. I got the farm. I can stay busy. I got Kokum and the Volk. I got the farm. Who knows what would have happened if you had that long break? You come to that fight fresh, not have to prove something. You're like, okay, here we go. All right, I'm going to move. Like, things could have been totally different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fight your fight. Be able to man, that's a... And then, like, that's not taking anything away from Ilia.
No,
Ilia is good. Ilia's power and what he did was great. He even made the right adjustment that I didn't expect. Like, even the adjustment he sort of end up making, like, he doesn't usually even move like that. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, he'll talk about, we always knew that I'll get him on the 5-6 punches.
Yeah.
I was like, you'll do long combinations. But
Bobby gone.
Yeah. Very rarely with the lateral movement, combo while lateral. If that makes sense.
No, it does.
So that's something that he wasn't, like, a lot of times, if you're in front of him, he could do a 20 combo and they're all powerful.
Yes.
Always well-based.
Yep.
But that's why he usually likes to get base and fire. So I didn't, it wasn't really... He made the right adjustment. I was the way I was fighting. I kept doing the same thing.
Yep.
And then he did adjustment. So credit to him.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I'm always going to look at, I didn't fight my fight and I didn't fight how I would like. Second guessing myself in there. It's a long story, but
of course.
And you're right. I probably should have done what I did after that fight. I had the break, and after that fight. And it was great. But whether I did that earlier, maybe it would have been different. We don't know.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's a good thing it did happen the way it did, because you were defining yourself. You come back, proved everybody wrong. Even myself, became the champion, beating a very dangerous Diego Lopes. Now, I saw the video. You come home, you give the babies a belt. How was it getting that victory, proving everybody wrong, proving yourself like you still got it? What was that like?
Man, it was it's good because you bring up the belt. And I did take it to show the girls because when I was chatting to them about it and saying I'm going to bring the belt back, and that was more, I guess it was just easier for them to understand the situation, if that makes sense. But the fact that I was able to do what I did, that means so much more than just having the belt, obviously. And you would know, right? It's just, it meant a lot because I got to show them that, I was away, I was getting knocked out, you know what I mean, and they don't know enough to know the depth to it, but they will understand, and I'm proud that they're going to be able to, when they get more of an understanding in the situation, when the story's being told properly to them later, then they're going to be like, man, that's inspirational sort of stuff for themselves. Yeah. Whenever they're down and out or, feeling a bit down or feeling like, things aren't going their way or they won't be able to do something, it's like, you can, you know what I mean? Like, all that stuff means so much more. So that's something that felt a lot for me. The whole fighting side of things, I said straight after, and I'm going to be honest, I said straight after the fight, it's good to be back. I don't know about that. You know what I mean?
You're like, fuck.
I was like, it's good to be back. I'm like, it's probably full of shit, but anyway, excuse me. But, you know what I mean? It was just, because it's hard work, a lot goes in there, but, that's what we do, and that's how we do it. But, it was, I just liked everything else around it and the meaning to it all, you know what I mean? So even like moving forward, it isn't just about getting in there and fighting and, being champion. It's so much more. It's a finding different challenges. I talk about that adversity and stuff like that. And there's going to always be adversity moving forward from here now. And and that's just legit. Yeah. Without getting too deep into it. So it's, and that's what I look forward to. Challenging myself and getting around those challenges, you know what I mean? And these the other adversities that I'm going to face through my career, the rest of my career, getting around them and staying stoic and staying composed through that process.
Yeah. Now, I want to go back to that adversity because you said a beautiful line there, and I've been using it with my children. But I'm going to go back. How does your wife feel after this fight, right? Because she's been through. She was there with you, the 2 losses, in Abu Dhabi when that happened, and then you come back home. Was there ever a point in time where she's like, "Baby, you don't need to fight. You don't need to fight," and you're like, "Honey, I got to do it one more time. Like I got to." You get that victory. Tell me about the support that she's, been there for you because, I've had a wife when I got knocked out, she was very supportive, but I never got knocked out before in my life. And there's a point in time I was like, man, should I fucking stop? You start to doubt yourself. What was that dynamic? How your wife support? Like, talk to me about that.
Yeah. So it's a tricky one where, like before a fight, she knows I'm going back. So she will, whether she's wanted me to stop, she won't really say it, because that's probably not good conversations you want to have going into like a camp or something like that, or before, so maybe that's where she might not say. But I mean, straight after the fight, like my whole family's just like, why didn't you just put the gloves down in the middle of that octagon straight away? They all want me to retire, right? So they're all like, they all wanted me to, but I guess so now that, I'm making a decision to keep going, they're like probably not going to bring that back up, like purely because like maybe they're worried about affecting my frame of mind, which I'm all right. You can say what you want, I'm going to deal with that, okay? But I think maybe they're just being like trying to be selective, but they made it clear that they all wanted me to stop straight after this fight,
the Diego Lopes fight?
Yeah, exactly. So it's but, I still think, I still think I got. And the thing is, and I'm going to be real again, a lot of people don't ever want to talk about this. People are going to be, he's fighting for money. It's like, I always was fighting for money, looking after my family. It's if I got to get punched in the face to do so, like, whatever. Like, that's just, I'll try not to,
of course.
But it's just, so I just don't get that. It's like people are trying to, because it's never been about my actual legacy. It's like, a legacy that I leave behind is only going to help me build my empire for my family. And that's all that matters to me. Yeah. And, the legacy will come with that. You know what I mean? So if I'm winning and doing all that, cool. That looks great on my resume and my legacy. But the whole point of everything and why I chose this career path, like this is my career path that I chose to do, and I'm going to do it 100%. Yeah. I'm not going to, I want to be in a position where, and I am in a great position now, don't get me wrong, very good position. Yeah. But can I put it in a more solid position? I've busted my ass so long. Yep. Do I want to sacrifice? Because I could only imagine what it's like for you. You would know, like to the way if you didn't put effort in it and fought the way you did, I'd be very, very impressed. But I mean, I could only imagine the commitment. You know what I mean, and what it takes to be that good. And when you sacrifice so much through that process. Yep. And I did as well. And like, I don't want to sacrifice all that hard time and then get to a point where, look, I'm in a great position, but I don't want to, I want to be able to enjoy the rest of I'm still going to be working and all that type of stuff, but I want to know that me and my whole family are set. You know what I mean? And again, we are in a great position. Of course. But, just, I don't know for a fact if we are set. And so I'm going to, if I'm willing, if I'm alive and willing, I'm going to make sure, and then it'll come to a point where, all right, maybe it is, a couple more, who knows, right? I'm not going to get into that, but it's, that's sort of where it is. But I'll be lying if I said it wasn't for the money. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, I think a lot of people take the misconception that we fight because we want to fight, right? Yeah. Like if your next fight, let's just say when you fight Diego Lopes, you're like, oh, here's $20 million, Volkanovski. There you go. Good job. You're like, you know what? I think me and the family are set with $20 million. But at the end of the day, all of us athletes, even when I fought, it was for the money. Like we all need money. So that's why I fought, right? It's like, when they're trying to have me fight somebody, I was like, you gonna pay me this? And they're like, yeah, I'll pay that. It's like, send the fucking contract. I'll fight him, right? Because I want to make sure after I'm done fighting, I can live comfortable, right? And you're still healthy enough. You're the champ now. So the money is going to even be better. Why not keep on pushing it so you can, when you do retire, you're good to go. And a lot of people forget, you're 37. if you retire now from 37, when I'm looking at your age, how you live on the farm, you got, God's country on you, you're probably gonna live to you like 85, maybe 90 years old. That's a long fucking time. 37 to 90, that's a long time to make sure your money stretches out that far. If you never plan on working a 9 to 5 or working into construction, whatever it is you want to do, old man Volk, right? So I think people need to keep that in mind that why not? Yes, we do fight for money. You don't need it, but it's always nice to have more money, right? So I get that. And after that fight with Diego Lopes, you said adversity is a...
Can I touch?
Of course, absolutely.
Just with that. So, a lot of people are fine for the money, right? Like, because, that is like the driving. I want to be successful for my family. And being successful is fighting and winning and all that. Yep. But a lot of people who are like, oh, he's fine for the money is not, as if I'm just not going to care and go out there. It's like,
oh, yeah.
You would know. It's like, I don't know how to half-ass anything. Like I can't. I am going to go 100%. I'm going to give it my all.
Yep.
And
there's no reason not to.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
there's no reason not to.
Exactly right. But I mean, the fact that it's like people think, oh, he's fine for money. He's done. As if I'm not going to try now because I'm only fine for money. It's just like, that's not how I work. Yeah. Even if, you know what I mean? Like, just if I'm doing something, I'm going to, especially if it's for my family and money or whatever it is, I'm going to do it 100%. I'm going to commit and I'm going to make sure I give myself the best chance I have of being even more successful through that process. So that's why I just, a lot of people, I think that's what they're worried about saying. Yeah. It's about money because they think people are going to look at it as if.
He doesn't care anymore.
He doesn't care anymore.
I think the only time people can actually say that is somebody shows up 8 pounds over fucking weight. You look like dog shit. You get in there and you're just like, oh, I don't care. I'm here. No matter what happens, I'm gonna get. That's so different. When you get in there, you're locked in. You show up on weight. You're moving. It's competitive. Even the fights you did lose, you're still there. It's competitive. Mm-hmm. So for anybody to say, oh, he's only there for the money. Well, yeah, that is fucking half of it. But just so we're all clear, if I'm only here for the money, I'm not going to half-ass it. I'm 110% here to show you I'm the great Alex Volkanovski. Because I hate that conversation. Oh, I don't fight for money. I'm here to show I'm the best. Okay, being the best doesn't pay your bills down the line. Like Floyd Mayweather said, legacy doesn't pay bills. Yeah. It's money. It's fights. That's why his ass keeps doing those expedition fights. So you ain't got to prove that to me. You ain't got to tell me that. But for the people out there, go fuck yourself. He's not just fighting for money. Okay. After that fight, you said something that was beautiful. You said adversity is a privilege.
Hey, adversity is a privilege. You hear people talk about that all the time. It truly is. This moment is incredible.
Right? And I sat there and I thought about that. I was like, man, he's right about that. Right? And my oldest son, he's 11. He started to do football and I'm trying to get him into weight training. He goes, Dad, this is fucking hard. I was like, it's supposed to be hard. Like, you should be happy that you're going through adversity now at a young age. You should be privileged, right? I use that. Where did that come from?
That's
because a lot of people say, I don't want to go through adversity. I want to go through life easy peasy, lemon squeezy. But you're like, nah, man, bring that shit. It's a privilege to battle adversity.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't mean I'm gonna go. Oh, I'm gonna try and break my leg on that thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not like that. But when adversity's there, just I'm gonna have to steal this guy's Brian To'o. To'o, is that say it right? To'o, yeah, To'o. He used this because we was explaining. He obviously mentioned what I said, and then I'm explaining to him what it meant. And he ends up saying, adversity is preparation for greatness. And then I'm like, I like that. That's sort of what I'm trying to say, and that explains it a little bit better. It's like, there's going to be adversity, but that adversity, like you getting through that adversity, or if you're in adversity and getting yourself out, it's only going to make you stronger. Yeah, you are going to, once you get out of that position, you're going to be a better human being, a stronger individual because of it. So all right, let's not look for it and put ourselves in bad positions. Yeah. In the gym, I will. Right. Like so I will. But I mean, it doesn't mean like, let's celebrate that. Someone passed away or something. Like, I'm not. You know what I mean? But I mean, what I'm trying to say is, like, going through that process of adversity is only going to make you stronger. Yeah. And then, especially in situations like that adversity is only going to make that story even greater once you get through it and you prevail. So like I was lucky enough where me trying to get myself back to where I was good on me for trying to do that, for one.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm looking at it. Like, that's only just going to set me up even more for the rest of my life, even if I didn't get the result.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
of
I want
course.
people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to get the result. Me going through that adversity and that process is only going to make me stronger. And even if I don't get the result, it's going to set me up to be that stronger human being later in life. You know what I mean? For, I'm going to learn so much life skills out of that. You get what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. It's that side of things, and I know you understand. But yeah, that's where I was going with it. Like, it's just, you hear a lot of people talk about there's similar sort of sayings, right? They talk about, pressure makes diamonds.
Yes.
And stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's similar to that sort of stuff. But like, it's pretty close to that, right?
Yeah.
But adversity is... Yeah, even when you're rock bottom, how many stories you see of people hitting rock bottom and then they're now unstoppable after that? You know what I mean? Because they are down here and they're like, they chose to push themselves through it, and then once they do, they're just they feel invincible. Or they're not. They are invincible. You know, they go through the rest of their life. Almost, I wouldn't say unfazed, because life's going to throw you things all the time.
Yeah.
So we better be prepared for that.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So that them adversities are going to prepare us for all the other adversities that we know are going to come our way.
Yep.
There will be. You ain't going to go through life with no adversity. There's no way. So, this is hard. Yeah, it's meant to be hard. You know what I mean? Like, we want to be able to deal with hard.
Yeah. And I think that's the hardest thing, trying to, raise my children. I know how it is in Australia and where you live, you live on a farm. Like, when you said that, it was like, it hit me hard, because sometimes people don't know that they're battling adversity. They're like, oh, this fucking sucks. Like, this is an endless grind and it's horrible. But it's like, no, you're battling adversity. You're getting through something that's hard, and it's supposed to be hard. Anything worth, going through that's going to make you feel good, it's going to be hard. And so that, when you said that, it helped me resonate more with my son, because he goes, this is hard. I was like, it's supposed to be hard, because if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? We were in London, and he was struggling because he used to do jiu-jitsu. And jiu-jitsu, as you know, it's very hard on the body, and he's getting beat by people who are better than him. And he had like a mental breakdown. And I'm like, son, I was like, look at all these people out here in the park. That guy's running. Nobody's telling him to be out here running. He's working hard. He's going through adversity right now, so he looks good and he's going to be healthy. And I was like, for you, it's supposed to be hard. If it was easy, everybody would have a six-pack. Everybody would be rich. Everybody would be a world champion. You have to go through something hard, adversity, in order to become stronger. And so I was curious, like, man, like, I've never heard anybody use adversity. Battling adversity is a privilege. Like you said, there's different ways to say it.
Yep.
Pressures make diamonds, right? When you look at that, it's like, oh, pressure makes diamonds. Diamonds are beautiful. They're expensive, right? Diamonds are a girl's best friend. But when you said it that way, I was like, I wonder where that came from when you said that after you fought Diego Lopes.
Yeah, and it wasn't something that was prepared. Like, I just said it.
Yep.
It's funny because I didn't even know that was a quote of mine. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even know. Like, it wasn't something that was premeditated at all. But it was funny because I said it and it took off. Everyone understood exactly what I was saying, right? And it was like, I love that. And then I'll end up watching one of the videos of me backstage before the fight, and I'm walking around. And I end up saying it backstage. I'm like, oh, I actually said it there as well. Like, it was something that was on my mind. It was like, yeah, because I knew, I was like, yeah, this is adversity. It's like, yeah, I'm in it right now, but this is a privilege to be in this position. I'm lucky that I am coming off them losses, right?
Yep.
Having the break and, my age and still be able to be in this position.
Yep.
That's a privilege, mate. Like, not many people, you know what I mean? I'm lucky to still be in this position. To be able to do something great. So I'm very lucky. But so let's do it properly. And I'm glad that I did, you know what I mean? I took it on. It was the longest camp I've ever done.
How long were you in camp for?
It was a 16-week camp.
16 weeks.
16-week camp. So now, didn't even have a drop of alcohol for 16 weeks. Like, not even a cheap meal for like 16 weeks. And I love my food, right? So I was eating good. That doesn't mean I was just eating,
clean.
I was eating like reasonably clean, and like I would still eat some good stuff, but it'd be, within reason, right? And it was just did that the whole way through. Put it this way, by the end of it, I was over it, mate. I was over it, but I mean, it had to be done. I'm glad I did it because I had such a big break, and I wanted to. And usually, I train all year round. I'm always in a good I go into camp with a good base. So I wanted to go into that last bit of camp, like the 8 weeks or whatever it is, with a good base. Because I felt like if I just started 8 or 12 weeks out, them first 4 weeks would have been...
Get yourself in shape.
I would have been heavy. I would have been moving slow, and then I wouldn't have felt great till the end. And then now, you know what I mean? I wanted to feel great early in camp. So I got used to moving the way I did. Like I want to get that timing right, or that speed, and, you know, get that confidence of me being able to, you know, tell myself, like, oh, you are still quick. You are, you know what I mean? Like all that stuff. I wanted to get that in my head early. Yeah. So I chose to bring the weight down nice and early. So like I said, it was the most strict I've ever been. You could see I was like the leanest probably I've ever been. And and I thought it was great. Like, it was good.
Damn, 16 weeks though, man, that's a long time. How were you able to keep, you know, we saw Sugar Sean O'Malley, he didn't, jack off, he didn't have any alcohol, he stopped smoking weed. You hear Tiger Woods, once he cleaned his life up, not saying your life was in shambles, you hear Tiger Woods when he stopped doing all those crazy shit, banging the hookers and doing all that, he started to not be a good golfer, right? Sean O'Malley, he wasn't, people say, I thought he looked good his last fight against Merab, but Merab's just a machine. Yep. But for you to go 16 weeks, no alcohol, being strict, like, one, obviously you're disciplined, but how did you stay healthy enough to do that? Like 16 weeks of the wear and tear on your body, that's a lot. Like, what were you doing to keep your body healthy enough to get through 16 weeks? Like, I can't even, if I try to do 12 weeks, I break down. I don't want to be there. I go into the fight not healthy. I'm just like over it. I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. Yeah.
So I end up having like a lower week in there as well. So that's why I liked it, because even a few of the other camps that I did, not 16 weeks, but I'd end up doing like anywhere from 12 to 14 weeks sometimes. So I've done something like that. Well, like maybe not 14, more closer to 12. But then I'll do a good chunk, because a lot of them were, the reason what made me start doing that is because I was fighting in February. And then I wanted to be in camp, and I wanted to still be able to enjoy Christmas and New Year's. So I'll do a bit of camp, and then I'll have a week off.
A week off, okay.
And then it was like, then I was ready. Yeah. Then I felt like I had a holiday, and I felt like I'm just starting camp again. So I started doing that. So that's what I wanted to do. I did the 16 weeks. I thought I'll have a little break in there as well, which I did, but I'll be honest, I started feeling it. Towards the end, I was feeling it. Yeah, you're right. I was definitely feeling it. I've got a great team around me with nutrition. So what I was eating was, even I'm always dieting, and I've got a dietitian. On the weekends, I would end up eating whatever. And this time, I was just like,
he's like, Volkan's that way. Oh, it's good. Don't worry about it, mate. Just having some stuff off the farm. Don't worry about it. You're like, honey, order the fucking burger, please. I need some fattening.
Exactly. I would eat whatever, and then I would compensate during the week because of that. Okay. You know what I mean? Which I didn't do. So I felt like that helped with the recovery. Yep. And again, I got a great team with the strength and conditioning. We do have lower days as well. We make sure we got highs and low days. So I do less, now, back, through the whole career. Yep. I do less hours in camp than I do out of camp.
Oh, wow.
So out of camp, I usually do the 3 to 4, anywhere from 2 to 4 sessions a day.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you say 3 to 4 sessions a day, like what does that consist of? Are you talking about just
technique? A lot of technique sort of stuff.
A lot of technique. Okay, so you're not really putting the pounding on your body.
Nah, there's some sessions that are still reasonably. That's why I'm fit all year round.
Gotcha.
But a lot of it, say the days where I've got 4 sessions, it's strength in the morning, straight to our MMA session, like a pros class. Then you've got the 2 sessions in the afternoon. Okay. They're usually MMA for the fighters, and then like a striking sort of class. Yep. And they're more technical. So a lot of them sessions are technical. But in camp, I end up just doing the 2 in the morning. Yep. But one of those is a highlight, and in the afternoon it's just like technique. Okay. You know what I mean? So yeah, just the intensity goes way higher in camp. Yeah. Less hours.
Gotcha.
And then so it's just maintaining that load, I guess. So you're doing that load, but making sure you're eating well, and still making sure you're focused on that recovery. Before earlier in my career,
you were just going
I didn't. Yeah, man, I'll just do that. And lucky I was young enough, I could deal with it. Right, I could deal with it. where you'll just run yourself to the ground and like, you know, if I do that now, I ain't even going to see the fight probably. You know what I mean? So that's legit. So, but this is something that we could chat about as well.
Yeah.
So I did everything wrong back in the day.
Yeah.
Like most of us fighters would have. We didn't have the knowledge wasn't there.
Yeah.
Diets was completely wrong. We were having way less calories. We didn't, you know, carbs were considered the
Bad
enemy.
thing, yep.
You know what I mean? We were training so much. Everything was a live session. And to get myself through those sessions, like, yeah, it was bad. Like you would always get sick and everything was getting wrong. And like you would end up like losing muscle because you're dieting wrong. Like you would end up breaking your body down. But I'm sort of, it was a privilege.
Yeah.
It was a privilege that I did that because I am one hard mother, you know what I mean? I'm one hard dude because of it.
Yeah.
Right now, these camps that we're talking about, now that I get to eat what I want, have break, get looked after, I'm like, from what I used to do, this is still a walk in the park. I ain't going to complain.
Yeah.
It's still going to suck, but you know.
Well, I always call it the poor man's sport. Right? Because when you get into it, you ain't making much money.
Yep.
You're doing what you got to do to get to the fight. You're doing everything you can. Like, I got to be 145. I'll fucking
won't eat anything.
I won't eat anything. I'll starve myself. And even when you don't eat anything, you still got to do the rounds. You still got to do the strength and conditioning. And then your body's breaking down. You get sick. Not just, you know, a lot of athletes get sick because their immune system is low because you're running your body down the dirt. That's when I got the most sick in my camps is I would died down to 125. I remember one time I did a weight cut down to 125. I had no carbs. Like the first time I fought Ian McCall, no carbs. I was like, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna only eat meat and vegetables. That's it. I made the weight. First round was great. Second round, oh shit, I'm starting to hurt. Third round, I'm like, God, don't stop the fight. I'm fully back mounted. But then once you start getting the right nutrition and you start understanding how to train correctly and you can take some days off. Like once I started taking more days off in my camps, that's when I started feeling way better. And then I stopped sparring. I was like, I'm not sparring anymore because there's no point to. But I just feel it's that poor man's sport where I was not making enough money to even hire a fucking dietitian. I was like, no, I'm not hiring a dietitian. I'm only making this much. For me to pay somebody to tell me how to eat ain't happening. But now, you know, there's so much research out there, so much knowledge out there. You can kind of do it yourself. It is nice to have somebody like my wife. She does all my cooking, to have her do all that cooking. But yeah, I just think it's the poor man's sport of mixed martial arts. It's like, I got to make that weight. I'll make that fucking weight. And you see so many athletes go into their fight injured, like because their camps were so fucking hard. I mean, when it comes to recovery, you know, ice bath, sauna, massage, whatever it is you do to get recovered, nobody was doing that back in the day. There just wasn't enough knowledge in place.
Yeah, I mean, that's and yeah, well, especially like now, I think it's going to change moving forward because even social media, you're getting so much information just on some dietitians' Instagram page. You know what I mean? But like, obviously, there's so much more to it as well. Like, you know, they'll tell you stuff, but you know, the timing of when you're having these certain meals, and, you know, stuff like that means everything, right? Like getting the carbs into you after the sessions, or, you know, having all that at the right time, that really, really helps. Where before we just not eat. But and then, so again, it's like, again, I still look at that again, not a privilege, but even injuries, right?
Yeah.
How many times have we had to get through fights with an injury and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. I tell Michael all the time that I would say 85% of the, in my opinion, I think 85% of the athletes who step into competition, whether jiu-jitsu or mixed martial arts, they're battling an injury.
Yeah.
Like who was it? Khalil Rountree. He just fought and he hurt himself and he said he couldn't spar for the last 3 weeks of camp. And it's like mixed martial arts is the only sport, well, I can't say the only, but it's one of the main sports that when people go into their fights, they're going in injured. They can't afford to back out. They can't, there's not enough money. Like you imagine LeBron James, hey man, my knee's not working this game, you know, I'm going to step out. It's like, oh, you can't, we need to make money to pay these bills. Guys, I have a $30 million contract. I don't need to fight. It's just the nature of the beast of mixed martial arts. And
it's, when it comes to even physios and understanding this sort of stuff, and we go back, it's sort of going back to that adversity is a privilege.
Yeah.
In a sense where people would end up having something happen, like they end up having a broken bone, but they're fighting anyway. For us, sometimes we didn't have a choice. We're fighting anyway. So you end up finding ways around it.
Yep.
Yeah, you end up learning a lot. Because back in the, I don't know if you probably worked with physios back in the day, and especially with say back injuries and stuff like that. Like, so you go, like I remember having a specialist tell me, this was early in my career, that I should retire because of my back.
Oh.
And just because it was a very common thing that everyone has, but it's just, you can't do it. But then I end up getting people on board that deal with athletes all the time, deal with injuries, and you know what I mean? And like, so they understand a lot more. And I feel like, how much do you learn from
the adversity?
Bad things happening? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, especially with football, rugby league, it's pretty big where a lot of times they end up playing injured. So so I was lucky enough where I had like my strength and conditioning coaches, my physios and that, dealt with a lot of rugby league players, and they would get through games like injured, like with whatever it was. And so if something would happen, it would be like, nah, it's all right, we can approach it this way and that way. And then me getting through that process, I only get confidence from it. I go there and then I work around and I end up kicking ass anyway. And then next time
you battle, you come across it and you're like, oh,
next time there's a bit of adversity with an injury, it's like, oh no, all right, keep a cool head. I've been here before. We're going to find a way around it. It's only going to make you stronger. And like you learn so much through the adversities as well. So it's not only makes you stronger, you learn so much about yourself. And then there's so much even more knowledge you can go out there. That's what, and I've noticed that even through like physio practice, like even for them, it's just like it used to be, if you did your knee, you can't do this for 6 months. Where now it's like, no, we do this. You can do it this way. You need to, start building your hamstrings this way and do this and all that, and you'll build more stability this way, and then all of a sudden you're
better than before. Because you strengthen everything around it. Where it's like, oh shit, like I was lacking the strength of the hamstring, the quadricep, and my knees and all that stuff, and you get even further because now you strengthen everything to make that weakness in your knee a lot stronger. Or
even if you can't use it because literally you're not allowed to use it. All right. So now I remember even with things that you'll do, like my elbow, had the surgery straight after Yair fight. And then couldn't really do much with it. But obviously keep doing everything. I can still work with the rest of my body. But they would even put a inclusive cuff, was it? So it's a thing that you can put on your arm and like you pump it up. And it just puts like blood into your arm. How do I say? Like
so you probably say cut off the circulation and keep the blood there.
Exactly. So like it ends up like giving you like muscles, like so you're tensing your muscles sort of. Like,
gotcha. So we call it like electrodes. Sometimes they'll put the electro things there. You didn't do that.
Do that stuff.
But it'll boom, 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 boom to keep the muscles firing.
Exactly.
So it doesn't lose that muscle.
So it's a hold the muscle and stuff like that. So we'll do a bit of that. As soon as you can, we'll start doing certain things with it. Rather than that, you got to leave it for 6 months.
Yeah, I think that's old practice of medicine. Because I remember like back in the day, I had both my shoulders done. And when I had my first shoulder done, they're like, don't move. 6 weeks, don't move. Don't move. So you're stuck like this. And then after the 6 weeks, you got to start breaking up the tissue. I remember when I got
you got to get your muscles strong again because they're completely gone.
Yep. And then when I did my left shoulder, right after surgery, I was in a machine doing this the whole fucking day. And they're like, we don't want your muscles to atrophy whatsoever. We want to keep that range of motion going. So I just think, like you said, the technology nowadays, and there's so much knowledge out there, where back in the day, it's like, nope, we're going to do this way. Now there's so much knowledge where it's like, oh, we'll work around it.
Where do you think that knowledge come from?
I don't fucking...
I think it's from the injuries. And then being like,
people being not naive, people being stubborn, like, I'm not just going to stop. I'm going to keep on moving.
Well, that too. Yeah, that too. Or even other people like, oh, we need to get you
back to work.
We need to get you back to work. All right, we're going to try this. Shit, that fucking... That
worked.
That worked.
You can cuss it.
Yeah. That worked. You know what I mean? And then all of it obviously is like now they're... What used to be 6 months is now 3 months. You know what I mean? And like through, going through that, like them adversities and pushing, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, this guy's got to fight a world championship
we got to get him back
with a broken foot. Like, how do we work around this? Oh, we're going to do this.
We're going to take you out of the Tesla pool, pump you full of drugs, get you back in there and get you back in Tesla pool and be good to go. Right? I mean, there's so many ways to do it, but I agree with you.
I mean, outside of that stuff. Because... Yeah, I'm not a fan. I mean, I guess a lot of people are. I'm not a fan of that stuff. When you see people like, oh yeah, I'm getting out and going back in, I'm just like, You know, but anyway, it's pretty, that's obviously quite obvious.
Yeah, well,
but I mean, obviously outside, look, if people want to do it outside of their career and stuff,
of course,
whatever, go for it. But in your career,
do you think in career you can't? You don't think going back and forth? You think it's cheating?
Yeah, I'm major against it. One thing I hate about it is, because you hear people, they want to defend it as like, oh yeah, who cares? It doesn't make that much of a difference.
Fuck, it doesn't.
Like, especially, like, I've never been the most athletic guy, right? Explosive and stuff, if that makes sense. But I've always been strong and fit.
Gotcha.
So now these guys that say they can run 10-second whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, like, so they're like freakishly athletic, but they usually would gas or they're not as strong or something like that.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden they can do that, and then now things that I could have had an advantage on, now they so I'm the so I hate it because it is hard work.
It is.
You know what I mean? Like some people got to do it the hard way, and that's should be the only way to do that. I think anyway.
Yeah.
So, and I think most people should agree. What's your take on that?
I mean, I love what you said that because I feel that there has to be something to be said. Like if you break your leg and you got to heal it the right way, you got to heal it however a normal person would heal it, meaning that like you're an athlete, the normal time for a broken leg is about 6 weeks, right? Broken bone, clean break, 6 weeks. After that 6 weeks, then you got to start physical therapy. Then after that, it's going to take you at least 8 to 9 months for you to jump out of the pool to take steroids or whatever it is you're taking. Now, I'm just saying that's what I've heard people do that. They cut that time down by half. And then through that, everything else gets stronger. All the other injuries get healed. And then they get back in it. Then everything gets cut down shorter. They become stronger. Then they get back in the pool. No, I think you broke your shit. You heal normal. And then there's
definitely be in the testing pool the whole way through that process. Yeah,
I agree.
But like that's and a lot of, because again, if people are going to do that, you're telling me that they're only doing it just to heal. Like I feel like you know, I don't want to accuse, but I mean, if you're doing it to help heal, obviously there's going to benefit you in so many other ways.
100%.
And that's just so that's just how I am. Look, again, after the careers and that.
Done, I think go ahead, do it, right? I mean, you're not competing against anybody else. I mean, you know, there's always a big stipulation about, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right? There's some guys who are on it. There's some guys who aren't. You have Mikey who's like, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu needs to be a clean sport. That's why he's pushing so hard with UFC, BJJ.
Mikey
Yeah, Mikey Musumeci, right? Where, you got guys like Craig Jones out there. What's the gentleman's name? Gordon Ryan. They're all open about like, no, just fucking take it. Everybody else is taking it. And Gordon Ryan's like, there's no point not take it. They're not going to test because it's too fucking expensive to test, right? But I've gone against guys in a gym who are on stuff. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, you are strong as fuck. Like, I've been grabbed by people. I'm like,
and you would notice what? So you trained with them before they were doing it?
Yes.
I trained before and after, and you could notice that much.
I've noticed a difference. Yes.
Well, all the people that act like it's not a big deal, there
it
you
is
go.
a fucking big deal. I've gone with people before where I'm like, oh man, it's like, okay, I'm getting them, and then besides technique, granted, the person's bigger. And then I go with them. I'm handling them even though they're bigger than me, right? I'm like, okay, I'm doing it. Then I come back. I'm like, wow, man, you're getting harder to deal with. It's what's changed, man? He goes, I'm like, fuck it. I go home. I tell my wife, I'm like, what the fuck, man? And you can just feel it. Like, you can fucking feel it. And it does make a huge difference, especially in a sport where it's isometric, when I'm just fucking holding you like that the whole time. Eventually, when you hold something like this for the whole time, your muscles give out. That's the whole thing about training.
Exactly, yep.
But if I'm sitting there holding this position and I'm hoping your muscles are gonna give out and they don't fucking give out, and I'm like, I'm tired now, and you're like, haha, there's a big fucking difference.
Exactly right. And then that's what I mean. So for people to act like, and sort of be like it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, don't use it then.
Yeah.
Don't use it. Let's see how you feel when you don't use it, and you. So, I mean, that's a whole different conversation, right? A whole different conversation.
Like I said, people want to do it outside of a competition, outside. Oh, man, go for it. I'm not judging anyone that's going to do it outside, whatever. But if it comes to competing, especially if it's testing, but I mean, even if they're not testing, knowing that, you're trying to get an advantage over your opponent. I don't know. And for me, See, you're gonna offend a few people here, but I mean,
who gives
again,
a fuck?
yeah. But I'm just saying, like,
You did. If you did it, you did it, right? So go ahead.
yeah. But I mean, I just mean like here I talk about adversity is a privilege and all that sort of stuff. Challenging yourself and doing it the hard way is only gonna make you stronger mentally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so. Do it the hard way. You know what I mean? Because if you're going to do it the easy way, you're going to do it the easy way the rest of your life.
Yep.
Just remember that. That's what I'll leave it at. Because you hear so many, like, they might get offense to this. You hear so many motivational speakers out there. You're seeing all these on Instagram. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, you're good. And they're clearly juicing. It's like, and like, you know what I mean? It's just like, here you are sitting there preaching like this.
You got to make
You're
your
the
life
most
harder.
mentally strong person in the world, yet
Yeah.
we know what you're doing. Like, it's clear to see. It's like, how much, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't mean like they're not mentally strong, but
Of course, yeah.
again, if it's out of it, but I mean, if you're in competition doing that and then you're trying to tell me, I'm going to go, no, I look at that as
Weakness.
mentally weak. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if people are offended by that, so be it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, now you're the champ again. You got a lot of upcoming guys, right? You got Movsar, who's been on an 18 fight win streak, never get a title shot. That might come one day. You got Aaron Pico. He's getting his opportunity to come to the UFC. And then you also have, in the wings, Yair Rodriguez, right? A lot of different potential athletes. Which one excites you the most out of all those guys?
Excites me the most. Look,
Because you've already fought Yair.
Yeah,
right?
look, I'm gonna. Yeah, exactly. So it's weird because I like Yair, and I remember when I wasn't expecting his name to come up.
Yeah.
Like after the fight, I didn't think that was it, and then it did, and then he was saying like, I'm not going to be the guy to say no to Yair. I'm not taking an opportunity away from because I like the guy.
Yeah.
But then I always thought that Movsar, because I'm the type of guy that we have a rankings for a reason. You earn your spot, you get it.
But hey, well, before you go on there, what dictates the rankings?
What do you mean?
So
Like,
what says a Movsar is number one?
I mean, who he's fought, win streak and all that. Like, yeah.
I don't know. You tell me.
Like, yeah. I mean, like, I'm confused. I'm confused here. I think. Yeah. Well,
like what I'm getting at is like
who's making them rankings?
Who's dictating the rankings,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
if all of us ran a race right now and I came in first place, I'm ranked number one. There's nobody who says I'm not number one. But if Movsar is ranked number one, who's dictating saying that he's number one?
Actually, is he number one? He should be number one. I don't even know if he is. Actually,
yeah, I don't know. Look, they're gonna look at it right now.
Yeah,
but
well, there you go.
You know what I mean? So continue.
Yeah, you're right.
going.
Yeah, no, well, and that's a whole nother point. But for me, again. With the rankings, I mean, I guess I'm not looking exactly how they look. If they sit there and just put someone at number one that clearly doesn't deserve it,
what? He's number 4.
Okay.
Who's number 1? Okay.
Well, should he? Well,
I'm on an 18 fight win streak, and I'm not.
Max Holloway.
Max Holloway's number 1, but he's at 155 now.
and that's fair. That's fair. But
how's that?
He's lightweight now.
Yeah.
So he's not even in the division.
Topuria?
Well, yeah. I mean, how is that? He's not in the division. He left, and that's how they fought for the vacant belt.
They haven't updated it. Got to give him time.
I don't think they have. Well, what one are you going? What one are you going on?
UFC Rankings.
You just need to fix that. But anyway.
Okay, go on. Sorry.
Okay. Well, there you go. So I'm going. So he's not even ranked number 1.
Yeah,
but
so he's number 4.
It's clear that he should
be number 1. Yeah.
So that's what motivates me more because then it goes down to me not only like even morally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to give it to the guy that deserves it. You know what I mean? I know there's a lot more to it when it comes to popularity and pay-per-views and all promotion. I get that.
Yeah.
I understand that, but at some point, I'm always just going to be like, yeah, but someone deserves it, right?
Of course.
And I'm always going to be like, all right, but for me, I'll fight whoever. Like whoever they put in front of me, I'm fighting.
Yeah.
That's just how I am, and I've always been. I'm a company man as well. But when you ask that question, what excites me is probably that purely because
he's undefeated, right?
He's 19-0.
Yeah.
I think he's fought like 5 of the guys he's beat are in the top. Yeah, are ranked.
Yep.
And he's like, he's got the longest. You've got other guys that got decent win streaks, but he's probably got he beat Aljamain in his last fight. he's probably got more higher ranked guys in that ranking, in their resume. So it's just again, like, so I'm gonna look at it that way. Look, I mean, then you got guys like, even like, see, Pico is like, all right, that's exciting, another guy, but I mean, it's going to be one fight. You know what I mean? Like, it's
that's why.
So it's weird for me because I'm like, look, I'll fight whoever. Like, you might think, oh, that's going to sell more, but I'm going to be like, yeah, but he doesn't deserve it, right? And then I'll fight anyway, and I'll make it work, and I'm just gonna, all right, that's what it is. All right. And next minute, I'm switched on and fighting whoever.
Of course.
But when it comes down to me and how my head works, the guy that deserves it, I feel. Yeah. But then again, how my head works knows that but they're probably going to do it this way and that way. So I'm going to mentally prepare for that as well. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to understand the situation and how the UFC works and how, what people want to see and whatnot. Yeah. So that's why he's fighting again, right? He's fighting Pico.
He's fighting Pico next. Yeah. And then Yair sitting down, doing whatever he's going to do. Then you have Diego Lopes, who's taking on Gene Silva, another guy who's...
And there's another one, right? When is that? That's September.
That's the UFC No Chase card.
There's a lot of moving parts here as well. And so you got... So Diego obviously just fought him. Jean Silva's another exciting one who's on a tear at the moment. A win over Diego puts him right there. Yeah. And then that's deserving
puts him at number one over a guy who's on 19-0. I just love, because when we talk, there's another group I talked to about rankings and who dictates the rankings and what clarifies the person who's number one and all that stuff. And when you look at a guy like Movsar, who's 19-0, like you said, on a 19 fight win streak, not in the UFC, but just in general. And it's like, he's not number one. It's like, what dictates number one? We had Dom was like, it's dictated on how much you get paid. And I was like, I never heard somebody say that. Because he goes, you think they're going to pay a guy who's ranked number one? If a guy who's ranked number one makes $500,000, you're either going to have number one fight number 10 or number 12, because that's championship pay, essentially. And he was like, that's how they dictate the rankings, is how much you're getting paid. So it's a different spin on it. So I wanted to hear your spin on like what dictates the rankings, right? Like, if a guy who's 19-0, he's never lost a fight in his life. We had Max Holloway, who just got knocked out by Topuria. He's had some great fights. You beat him 3 times in a row. He's still ranked number one. Topuria, he's not even in the division anymore. He's up at 155. Who's dictated it? So I wanted to get your piece on.
I mean, they must be still in it because they haven't had their fight at lightweight yet.
Gotcha.
So maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just there. That's just how it works.
Somebody's lazy at the UFC. Goes, fuck it, I'll
maybe that's just how it is because they can't put him in the lightweight rankings yet because their last fight was featherweight. Maybe that's how they're doing it. Yeah. But if that was the case, I don't know how Ilya can't be, like, how's he 3? You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't make
sense. So it's but I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how that one works. But I think, it's going to come down to who you've fought, all that sort of stuff. Like, I mean, like, even the rankings, if you sit there and you lose, say, to the best. Yeah. Does that, like, because a lot of times you see in the rankings, someone will lose, like, they go up and make a crazy challenge. They lose, and then they somehow go up like, on the they go even pound for pound, they go down a fair bit. Mm-hmm. When I'm like, wait a second, what? Should they go down that much when they lost to the guy that is number one? Yeah. When, especially when that guy is that good, like, I feel like but I mean, how can you judge that when there's so many factors in it, right? Yeah. Who you fought, like, not just a win streak, it's who you fought as well. Yep.
How did you beat them? How did you fight? How do you evolve?
Sometimes you beat the number one guy or say the number 2 guy, then now you're number 2. Yep. But then your resume shows that you shouldn't be number 2.
Yeah. I feel like it should be that way though, right? Like, if you
take their spot,
you're taking their spot.
You
it's
take
like,
their opportunity.
Yeah, we're fighting for, if we're gonna run a race. If you
see, it's a tricky one. Like, there's so many.
But it's like, if the whole world's claiming you are fucking number 2 in the world, you're claiming you're number 2. Everybody in the world's claiming number 2, and I'm number 18th, and I fucking beat you. I should take your spot, even though I haven't beat 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I just beat you, right? And then you go down to 3. Would you go to 18? I don't know. So the rankings is a very tricky thing where when you sit there, and I have buddies, they'll look at it who don't follow the sport that well. They're into it, but they're not into it like we are. So they're like, wait, so this guy is undefeated and he's ranked number 4. How does that even make sense? Where this guy's got multiple losses on record, and I'm like, guys, you know what? I used to fight. I don't understand the rankings. don't fuck come with me these hard ass problems to answer it. So don't ask me. So that's where that whole conversation came up about the rankings. What dictates the rankings? Because when you're looking at your next challenger, you're obviously going to fight, whoever the company puts in front of you. But for you, it's like, hey, this guy's, I think he deserves it. But then they're like, what makes him say that he deserves it? Right? I mean, there's a whole way to spin this whole shit.
So exactly. So I'm going off just fighting. That's it.
Yeah.
But there's so many more. That's so much more, right? There's pay-per-views, who you are, hype around you, how many finishes, all this comes into play. And we know that. So that's why I'm like, I'll fight anyone. Doesn't matter. And I'm ready to fight anyone because I understand that.
Yeah.
But then you ask me, who would I be most excited for? Yeah. It probably would be Movsar in the fact that he deserves it. Like he's a guy that hasn't been beaten. He's undefeated. Yeah. Last undefeated guy I lost to, so I haven't been able to take someone's 0 yet. So there's another reason. And not only that, I've fought a lot of styles. I haven't fought in my division like a legit wrestler, grappler.
A dark horse. Yeah. Nobody really knows him.
Well, he's just, or even like a wrestler. He's just a heavy, hard wrestling type of guy. Obviously, I have with Islam. Yeah. But in my division, undefeated prospect, that's, that sort of style. I fought your Dangerous Strikers and, all that sort of stuff where he's going to be a little bit different. So when people might talk about legacy, which I don't care too much about. Yeah. But then that's one more. I think at the end of the day, when people look back at my resume and all that, I reckon his is going to mean so much more. Like, because I can see him still beating a lot of the people as well. Yeah. So that name I feel like is going to be there and look better later on. Yeah. Where a lot of people are like, this guy's got a lot of hype. Yep. I was like, it was fast tracked that I can go there, beat him, and then he loses another 10 times. And then people are like, why do you fight this guy? Yeah. You know what I mean? It means nothing to my legacy or my resume. Yeah. But it also showed that you fight every challenger whoever they put in front of me, bring it on. Yep, exactly. And I am that guy. Like I will literally, it's like they bring me up. I'm like, all right, yes,
When fucking somebody dropped that and they were like, what? I think it was like welterweight or middleweight, you're like, damn, they didn't fucking call me.
So where's my call, man?
Yeah, where's my call, mate?
I could make welterweight right now,
I mean, you probably fucking could because what do you walk around right now?
I reckon I'm what? Yeah, I reckon I'm 170.
170?
Yeah, I reckon I'm 170.
God damn, you cut to 145.
Yeah. So like once I think I am, I mean, if I'm not, I'll be pretty impressed. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm eating good.
Well, you look fit.
I mean?
You don't look fat.
Well, to be honest, that's it. Like, I feel like I've just got a little bit around the belly. Gotcha. So the shirt's staying on. Okay. But I mean, I feel. But the good thing is, with a shirt and shorts, I look. It looks like I'm in good shape. A lot of people said to me, "He looks in shape."
You look great. Yeah.
That's why I keep the shirt on. You know what I mean? Like, when you see the little.
We're going to the pool party afterwards. He goes, I reckon I got to make some calls. Got to call the wife. Got to call the kids. I'll catch with you guys later.
I've had to do a couple of shoots as well where they're like, "Oh, take your shirt off." I'm like, hairy as right now as well. I'm like, so hairy, and like, I don't know. Maybe I'll shave and it won't look too bad. So I think it's the hair that makes me feel like I look worse. Yeah. Maybe I'll shave it. I'll be like, oh wait, I can take my shirt off.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll see.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, I want to switch gears. So you came back. You're wearing your belt. You got some challengers. Up and coming. How much longer do you want to fight? Like, have you ever thought about that? Like, when I look at it's hard. Like when I look at, let's look at Sean O'Malley, his last loss. He lost twice. And I'm in a headspace now where I feel like the sport of mixed martial arts is so unforgiving, right? It's truly unforgiving that you see a lot of guys stay too long, right? When it's like, there isn't a point in time where it's like, it's time to leave. We made our mark. And I'm just gonna bounce. I'm out of here, right? You have Izzy, one of your close friends, training partner. He's lost 3. For me, I'm like, is it time for him to go pack his bags, even though he still wants to do it? Like, when do you feel it's a time to like go?
It's a
because I know you are.
It's a hard one to talk about, right? So I don't want to go there, but put it this way. This is a good way of putting it. See, I had the 2 losses.
Yep.
And then I had what would you call it? The preparation or to come back, right?
Yep.
Like, how could I?
Resurgence?
Yeah, the resurgence. I ain't looking to do a resurgence ever again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah. So, So, like, if I'm hanging around, it's because I'm winning. I'm keeping those them good paychecks.
Yep.
But I mean, even then, it's just like there's a limit.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I know it's not too far away. I'll leave it at that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So that's an easy way of me putting it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a tricky one. You
It's
talk about it, it's like,
tricky.
oh, he's done.
No.
I mean, I was thinking this before. That's again, a lot of people take things, and like that's why I shouldn't care what people have to say. So everyone, we're always careful of what we say. Like, the way he's talking is like, oh, he's done. I was like, I'm like, oh no, mate, I was talking and thinking like this before the last fight, and I won the belt back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why aren't you saying it now? You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you get what I mean? So it's these are still conversations that I was always aware of. I'm very self-aware.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm a oversharer. So like I will say those things. So, but I mean, I don't think there's definitely not a crazy amount more, that's for sure.
I just feel, I always like to ask that because like when I think about when I decided to retire, it was almost like, yeah, I can still fight. And do I still love to fight? But it was just a sacrifice away from the kids and the wife. And like you said, it takes a lot. It takes a lot to get there, to get yourself ready to fucking, work hard, kick the pads, fucking wrestle, do jujitsu, cover this. It was just a lot. And so sometimes for me, it's like you would look at GSP when he walked away. He even said, he could still fight, but he was like, I felt it was the right time to walk away. I just feel like there's nobody talks about that, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, it's I struggle even though I'm not fighting anymore. Like here's a good example. I look at Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes, and I'm like, damn, like, do we really have to bring one of the GOATs back out of retirement to have her fight Kayla Harrison? It's like, if I was Kayla Harrison, it's like, man, I'll just fucking fight 2 more chicks and bounce. Like I feel like it's a sport. Like always remember what Conor McGregor said, get in and get the fuck out. Right? It's like he got in, he did his thing, made all that money. His ass ain't coming back. He's out in Ibiza fucking punching people. And I'm just like, I like to ask people who have been successful, you've been a champion, you lost it, you get the belt back, you're making great money. And I always feel like, you know what? I'm going to do 2 more. I'm going to do 1 more. I'm going to do 3 more. I just like to ask that question to see what feedback I would get from you.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Because even Izzy, I'll ask him, I was like, dog, you want to fucking 0-3? Okay, I was heartbroken when you got knocked the fuck out by Nasruddin. Like my whole day was fucking ruined. What are you gonna call? I mean, I just like to have those conversations, and I feel like it's a hard question to ask somebody because they might take offense to it. Like, you saying I can't do it anymore? You think I need to? You know what I mean? People get offended that way. So
yeah, for sure.
I always like to ask, just to see where their headspace is and when is it the right time to walk away. Nobody talks about that.
I mean, and that comes back to what we were talking about before, right? Like, money's always going to be a factor. There's always going to be money outside. Like you're obviously doing a great job with
you are as well.
Yeah, I mean, what you've been doing is incredible.
Thank you.
But there is stuff you can do after it, but like you want to capitalize on. See, now sport too, right?
Yeah.
Like we only got a short time to make a lot of money. We can make that money quick.
Yeah.
Big chunks like that.
Yeah.
When are you going to ever get like, big?
You're not.
Yeah.
The velocity
unless you somehow, go shares in this company and it just blows up like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the chances can get pretty slim, but like, don't get me, you're going to be well off and great things coming, but can you always get, oh yeah, I can get this chunk of money, like just me stepping back in there.
Yeah.
So that's, maybe that's something like for Nunes, was it something like, I reckon I still got it and...
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't like sitting back. Maybe she's like, I still beat these girls.
Yeah.
And let's get another big paycheck. You know what I mean? I mean, why not? Who knows? So it's I guess it is a tricky one. One thing I do want to ask you.
Yeah.
Did you still love at the end of it? Still love fighting?
I love fighting, but I didn't like the things that came with fighting. Meaning like the press conference, building it up, trying to sell the fight. I didn't like that because my whole entire career, it was always, it's no secret, I was never a big draw, never sold a lot of pay-per-views. And so that didn't really bother me, I guess. I just enjoyed fighting. But when it came to like the tail end of my career, I got tired of just like the whole things that come behind it. And I was always in training camp. Like when my sister died, training camp. My wife had 3 babies, training camp. Always in training camp, always. And I felt like after my last fight, when I beat Adriano the third one, had my wife, my kids, and I was walking, I was like, fuck, man, is this what my life is? Just fighting? Just I'm always in camp. I'm always fucking training. I love the process of getting ready. I love the process of trying to figure out, okay, if I go bop, bop, and see how he's gonna move, I walk. I love this. I still love that aspect of it, but I didn't want my whole life to be from 18 till fucking 38 years old. It's been nothing but training. And I was just like, I'm done. Like it gets me emotional when I think about it, but it's just like, I'm just done.
Yeah.
And so that's like, I always love the fight. I always love that aspect. But when it comes to the press conference, okay, Demetrious Johnson, what do you think about, this? I'm like, it's a great fight. It's going to be, tough. But getting in there, I'll always love that. But it just, the whole sacrificing and looking back on my career, and when she gave birth to my first child, Tyron, she has staples in her stomach. Oh, I got to go. I go up the street, fight, defend the belt, come home to help over Tyron. Maverick gets born. Hey, I got to go to Canada. It's like, fuck, I missed out on so much. And that just really affected me after my sister died. So there was a lot more that goes into it. Like, this is kind of the first time, like, me actually speaking about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I loved fighting, but I think what came, like, the sacrifice came with it just wasn't worth it to me anymore. It just,
and that's, man. And that's, that's strong. And what I was going to say, that sacrifice, all them sacrifices and that commitment, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what made you elite, right? That's what made you the fighter you were.
Mm-hmm.
And it's weird because I always say this because I was, when I would struggle, when I did struggle that time, I was struggling. And a lot of that was just, what it takes to get there. You know what I mean? Like, and then now I'm like, I'm okay with it because I'm like, that's what it takes to be elite, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't mean it's easy. So when there's going to be a time where, like,
you're gonna be like, fuck,
you know what I mean? Like, because even we can't half-ass anything either.
Yeah.
Like, if we're going to do it, it isn't just for a paycheck because the whole commitment and sacrifices come with it every single time.
Yep.
And how long do you want to do that? That's something that I'm like, how long do I want to do that for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The quick paycheck going in and fighting, that's easy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just know what it takes to get myself ready, and the only way I'm going to do it, how much longer do I want to do that process for? So that's sort of, and all the sacrifices, all of them things.
Yeah.
That's so much more.
And I wish in my career I had those fights where it's like, I beat somebody, I'm still in shape, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna turn around in 3 weeks, fight again. Like, have a shorter camp. You know what I mean? It was like, hey, you want to fight? But I know my preparation is gonna be as good, right? Go in there almost half-assed, but not truly half-assed. What I mean by that, it's like, hey, I just fought, I'm gonna take 2 weeks off, I'm gonna turn around and fight in 4 weeks. It's gonna be a 4-week camp. Even though I'm not gonna have that same Demetrious Johnson in the 8-week camp, I'm gonna be okay with a 4-week camp and go in there and fight and be just as good and not worry about the critics if I lose and all that stuff. Like, I just wish I had more of those I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And still show up and fight. Where there's been a lot of fighters out there who've done that and they succeeded and they've also failed. Yeah. I wish I would have more of those because maybe I might have a different outlook. But each time I signed that contract, the dotted line, it was like my wife would tell me, she was like, all right, we're in fucking camp. I'm going to take care of the children, all that stuff. And I'm gone from 10 a.m. all the way to 7 p.m. at night every fucking day. And you miss a whole lot. And then, it's a lot. It's a lot. So but what I get fulfillment out now is at the Mighty Journey. I come to Australia and I'm like, all right, I'm going to fucking
come to the farm.
I'm going to come into the farm. I have a whole skit that I want to do, but I come and I train with you. You grab me and I'm like, holy fuck, you're that strong. Like, then I feel your mindset. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to get Alex in the clinch. I'm going to see how you move and not try to hurt you, but just see how I get way more fulfillment out of that now than I do fighting.
Okay.
Like, that's what fills my bucket. And then obviously doing the jiu-jitsu, where now it's like, when I roll with Aljo, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. How the fuck how did you lose to Sean O'Malley? I was like, if you would have got his ass down, you grappled Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah,
He's a motherfucker. Like, he got my back and locked that big ass ashy legs up in a body triangle. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. And I'm like, he goes, you're just too small, man. You're just too small. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. I love that. That's what fills my bucket. So me being able to travel, train with different people is like kind of like my niche now. It's like when I get the opportunity to train with you, or, Izzy's ass is too big, maybe a Kai France, maybe a Pantoja one day. That's what I love. And there's no ego involved, right? It's like, if I get submitted, 15 times, I don't care. I got to train one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
How many athletes get to say that? Not many, right? So that's what kind of like is my driving force with mixed martial arts, I guess you can say.
Yeah, for sure. Now that's cool as well. You went when you were talking about. You said something about when you half-assed and say for you wish you'd done that. It's I don't know, maybe not half-assed. I know what you're saying, but 4 weeks, all right. I've got 4 weeks to get this done.
We're gonna see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right, and then it's not.
But you're gonna fully commit for that 4 weeks.
Exactly.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
But it's not a 8 to 10 weeks is a long time.
Yeah.
That is a long fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
In and out, double days, the sparring, the repetitive sparring over
Do you
and over.
choose to have the 4 weeks, or you had no choice?
No, I'd rather just hey, you got to fight in 4 weeks. Let's get it. All right, perfect.
It's like, this has happened. You got to fight 4 weeks. Yeah. Like that.
Just short and sweet, right? It was always an 8 to 10 week camp, right? What would my mindset be different if it was like, hey, 4 week camp? That's it.
Oh, so you chose to do the 4 week camp?
I chose to do that,
okay,
right?
All right, yeah.
But through that 8 to 10 week camp, you have a masterpiece. You get in there, you're like, oh, no, boom, boom, okay. Oh, there's a knee. Oh, you're on the, boom, you have the magnificent masterpiece.
Yeah.
Now when you try to do a 4 week camp, it's like, there's no way I'm not gonna be this Demetrious Johnson. I'm not gonna be Mighty Mouse. Fuck, man. What would it have been like if I would have done 4 weeks? That's what I mean half-assed, where it's like, 4 weeks, I'm going to do it. There's fighters out there who got by doing that, and they don't have the, I feel like they don't have that same mindset of preparation or what it takes to be the great Alex Volkanovski. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know what it takes for you, 16 weeks, no cheat meal, no alcohol. Nobody's going to do that type of work to get to where you're at, right?
Yeah.
It does something crazy to your mind when you have that mindset. At least my viewpoint, and that's what it did to me.
Yeah.
So maybe if I would have had those, hey, quick, all right, I'm turning around and fight this guy up. It is what it is. It's 4 weeks, blah, 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 blah. Maybe my mindset would have been different, but I never had those in my career.
Would you be the Demetrious Johnson that we all know?
Probably not. I don't know. Maybe I might be better. Maybe I'm gonna stand in a fucking pocket and see, just pop out and just see what happens.
Yeah.
So
for me, I'm again, if with the choices, like I've got a fight coming, that's what happened. I'm going to commit and do the long camp. But there's been times where I do 11-day notice and all that sort of stuff. That opportunity comes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm doing it. Like you know what I mean, and I'm locked in. But I'm like, I'm gonna, and then this is where I feel like some people's mindset as well. A lot of I can accept the situation, and I'll tell myself to make it work, even though it's probably not gonna. But I can do, mate. I'm telling you, I went in there going, I'm going to be more dangerous now because I'm at 11 days. I literally told myself that.
That's when you fight Islam, right?
Yeah.
That's the first time. The second time?
Second time.
Okay, gotcha.
I fought him short notice. 11 days, and I'm like, I literally been like, this is going to be the most dangerous you've seen me.
But see, you were able to come.
I know I have to. I ain't beating him a decision. I have to go. I'm going to have to be more because I'm going to take more risks. Yeah. And I literally believed it. Yeah. Like I was able to believe it. And I think that takes, someone like,
absolutely,
which is good. But at the same time, then you're like, wait a second, I couldn't pull the trigger because I was just
11 days, huh?
I'm like, I said, I'm even going to fight at a closer range. I'm just going to walk forward. I'm going to be able to be hit more. Yep. I'm going to be in a position where he can do more. He's going to be smashing some kicks in me. Yeah. I'm going to be aware of them, but I can do more there. Yeah. I did all that. Yep. I just couldn't pull the trigger. Yeah. So I was going there and I'm like, because of no sparring or anything like that, because I wasn't doing much training before that because I had surgery and stuff like that. Just the timing for when the shots were there was so much harder for me to read and do. So I literally put myself in the danger without me being dangerous. Yeah. So it was like, so now I'm like, all right, that makes sense. Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But I told myself that I'm going to be, but then, so it's funny. So I can do that. I've only got this. All right, fine. I'm gonna fully commit. Yep. And I'm gonna be switched on. And so I was even with the turnaround. No, like say the quick turnaround against Ilya. Yeah. No one could have told me any different. Everyone's like, well, what are you doing? You should be having a big break. It's gonna affect your confidence and rah rah. And I'm like, bullshit. Yeah. Nah. I ain't having it.
How
And
long
I'll
was
go
that
there.
camp? How long was that camp?
I think it was like three. No, how long the camp was?
How long was that camp from Islam to Ilya?
Well,
Can
I
you
don't know.
say
It would have been like a 12-week camp because it was
Okay.
So because I did the break. It was in February, so I had the holiday. I went to Fiji.
Gotcha.
Halfway through, but that was like three full months.
Okay.
Not even 4 months after the head kick knockout.
Gotcha, yeah.
So,
you didn't give yourself 90 days. You let yourself just to, recuperate.
And I had a decent concussion from the.
I would think so too.
From the from the Islam. I feel like I had more of a concussion from the Islam one.
Yeah,
And
that's what I
even though I
mean.
was knocked out longer with Ilya,
Yeah.
I had a lot more of the symptoms than that with
Gotcha.
the Islam one. So I probably should have had
I
more
think
of
the
a break.
protocol is 90 days, no contact whatsoever.
Yeah.
And what
so
was your,
I didn't have like head contact, but then when you're easing into it, now you're easing into it, making sure you're not getting hit.
yeah, but what was
Putting
that?
yourself in safer, trying to put yourself in safer positions. And
Yeah.
You even start camp
Yeah.
wrong. I should have had the break.
How long was that? You got knocked out by Islam. How long was it till you started training again?
Because after when you got the concussions and all that, you can't even bring your heart rate up straight away.
Yeah.
So you were like, I had to. So we did the whole process. We did it properly.
Oh, so you waited 90 days.
Yeah, so I can't
Okay.
remember exactly how it was.
Okay,
I couldn't tell you, but
yeah.
I could tell you we went through the process where you have these days. The head contact's always going to be this much.
Yeah.
But you can ease into it, like do this sort of stuff, maybe a week or two.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yep.
Like, I don't want that heart rate going up at all. Like try not too many bright lights
Yep.
and do it all properly. Then really ease into it. If you get symptoms, we'll pull back again, and then you can gradually bring it up. Head contact was always going to be whatever it is, 90 days, and but yeah, so it was like did that process, but literally did that process, and
then right into the
and
camp.
half of that process was started my camp.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Which was silly.
Yeah. Usually you want to go through that process. Okay, we're all good.
Get a
okay,
base.
Get a base.
Then go
now
camp.
let's start your camp. Now you're not gonna be like, oh shit, I don't want no symptoms. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it was so again silly, you know what I mean? But no one could have told me any different.
Yeah.
So we did it the right way still.
Yeah.
But I mean, how is that going to affect your preparation and who, your...
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Shit,
moving into
I got nothing to fuck. I was like, all right, we're going to take about 6 months off and not do anything. Then it was like, okay, now we'll start. We got a base. Now we'll start the process. And then, we went through it. So, we're talking about that, champions leaving the division before they even clean it out. Like Michael is saying that he believes that it should be 5 fights. Or I think Dominic Cruz said it should be 5 fights. You defend about 5 times. Then you get the opportunity to move up to fight for a different belt. But I also think there is an incentive to do that, right? I never had that incentive. They never said if I go up to fight, the 135-pound champ, I'm going to make more money, right? I feel like there's an incentive for people to leave their division to go fight for you beat everybody in your division. When you're the champ, you beat fucking everybody. Finish them. So for you had the flowers to go do that. You had the green light to do that. Ilya Topuria doesn't have that. He beat you, then he beat Max, and that's it. We'd love to see a Movsar. Would love to see a Diego Lopes. Would love to see maybe a rematch between you guys. I would love to see more. Same thing with Islam.
Well, see the new school going up against the new school, right? Like, because that's something like what you're saying, taking out the eras even, right?
Yeah.
Like, you want to see that, right?
Yeah, I want to see it.
You'd love to see, you are the prospect, then you took out the 2 guys.
Yep.
I guess the old era, whatever.
Yeah,
We're the
yeah.
old guys now, yeah, okay. But, you took them out, but now we want to see how you do against the new school.
The new school.
Which I've always took something like, that's what I loved about me still fighting Diego.
Yeah.
Was
It's
that
a
at
new
least
guy.
it's new school.
New guard versus old
Because I
guard.
went through a couple of eras. I had the old era, and then my era, then the young era, and then still trying to go even at the
Yeah.
So that's sort of where we were at with it. It's tricky where if you were trying to hold 2 belts, the fact that they were like vacating, relinquishing the belt, like letting it go to move up. I think I'm okay with that. Because you are committing to that division. So I'm okay with that. But I mean, does that put you in GOAT status in that division? No. You're not, unless you do great things say Yair was to take out and be a crazy defending champion lightweight, and then defends 4 or 5 times. All right, now is he in them? Of course, he's in them GOAT talks then.
Yeah, but I wouldn't even put him in the GOAT discussions as one of the best at GOAT at 145.
Well, that's what I mean, because he has that defenses.
He hasn't done anything. I mean, he has done some amazing things there, but the footprint that you have on the 145-pound division and Max Holloway will exceed his footprint, right? He came, he did his thing, he left. Yeah. Right? Same with Conor McGregor. He came, did his thing, amazing knockouts at 145. He fought at 145, knocked out Jose Aldo, then he left, right? Same thing when he did at 155. He came, he won the belt against Eddie Alvarez and left. So his footprint is very, very, very small. He did some very impactful things, but it's nothing that, it's going to be like stained.
It's not legacy defining as a fighter. For Conor, legacy because it's Conor McGregor.
Yes.
But they don't, they're not going to ever really go down and be like, wow, look at this, because you're right. And that's going to, and I agree with it. That's what I'm saying. Them conversations could still happen. Yeah. But he has to still have defenses. Yes. Even if it is in lightweight, I still think that can play a factor in 45. Yeah. I think if he, but yeah.
I feel like, I know we're using Ilia Topuria as that, as a reference or as not an analogy or an example. But even you look at, like, a good example is John Jones. Go at light heavyweight, right? Well, we had a whole discussion about this. What is your take on when it comes to GOATs? If somebody has an infraction on their, I guess, drug test, well, how do you feel about that?
You heard my take on all that.
I didn't hear your take on that.
I know you heard my take on what I'm about with that sort of stuff.
Okay, so
and I think there should always, and I don't want to sound like a hater and all that, but I clearly made it clear in this conversation. My take on PEDs and all that sort of stuff. There has to be an asterisk, whatever you want to call, when you start talking like that, when there's clear violations. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, but I mean, it's
so with him.
Again, I don't want to sound like a hater, but I'm like, how could you be like, it's just
hater fucking ball.
Yeah.
Okay, so but John Jones' footprint in light heavyweight is.
Resume. You look at the resume, it's incredible.
It's incredible, right? But when you look at what he said at heavyweight, it's like, should we even acknowledge that?
Oh, not heavyweight. You can acknowledge it. Acknowledge his career.
But will we acknowledge what he said at heavyweight? Just because he came beat Sirgan, he did beat the Francis left, and then he defended belt against Stipe, who came in there as a loss, was off for 4 years. Do we put more juice behind his resume at heavyweight over Tom Aspinall? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, this all stemmed from like people leaving their division and going up and trying at 155, or a champ. Oh, I'm the champion. I defended once. I'm leaving this division. I'm gonna go up 155, right? Obviously, we're on a fucking rant. What do you?
I love a good rant.
I do too, right? I was like, these motherfuckers got hit in the head too much. I don't know what they're talking about. So back in context, your feeling is okay with it as long as they don't hold the division.
Exactly. That's where it is. And for me, I was clearly very, very active. Oh yeah. So if I was showing that I will. Like, I wanted to hold 2 belts. I deserved to be able to move up. Yep. And I was ready, like I literally was ready to defend both belts and keep both divisions busy. Yeah. I would have been happy to do the 4 fights in the year, 2 lightweight, 2 featherweight. Wow. And you know what I mean? Like that was my goal within the 12 months. Yeah. You know what I mean? So so I'll be able to
keep things going.
Which is probably more active than a lot of people anyway.
Dude, when we talk about the activity of some athletes and some champions, I feel like you're the champion who wasn't really worried about lining up the correct fight, lining up the right pay-per-view points, lining up all that stuff. Like, you was like, I'm gonna fucking fight him. Like when you fought Korean Zombie, you're like, guys, I'm fucking him up. Y'all need to stop this fight, right? And you beat him. You fought Yair.
Because that was meant to be Max.
Yeah, it's supposed to be
Max got injured. Then I'm like, all right, I'm not waiting around. I'll fight and I'll just fight him later.
Exactly, right? Where a lot of guys are like, you know what? I make good money.
Wait a month or something.
I make good money with Max. We're going to wait. We're going to save that. But you were so consistent and so active that I think you would have the green flag. Like, yeah, Volk, you've proven time and time that you've been active at featherweight as a champion, and I'm sure you would be active at lightweight. You're not going to hold a division for more money is what I'm getting at. Where I felt like sometimes you see guys that become champion. It's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna wait for the right fight and the right check to come across my lap to fight. Essentially.
Yeah.
I've been asking a lot of athletes this. Football players, retired athletes. You're still in the middle. You're still in the middle of your career. What did you do with your very first paycheck that you got, and what did you do with your very last paycheck that you got from fighting? For example, when I got my very first paycheck, I'm making some good money. I was excited. I made $750. I went to Best Buy, bought a fucking laptop. I called the wife from Alaska. I was like, baby, we're going to Best Buy to get that fucking laptop. What did you do with your money?
I started pretty, pretty late. So, we all know what the career's like. So I think then that first paycheck would have just been bills and stuff. To be quite honest, I think that's what they would have been. Yeah. But the last paycheck would be the farm. Oh wait, the last paycheck.
The one you got from when you beat Diego Lopes.
Oh, okay. All right. So, because I got the farm before that.
Yeah.
So
we got a lot of free cash right now.
Okay. Yeah. So we're probably still paying off that farm, to be honest now. Man, just a lot of that. I don't really spend too much on myself. Mm-hmm. I just keep growing to that empire. So I'm just building that empire again. This is why I do what I do for my family, build that empire. So a lot of that is still going to all the investments and whatnot.
Nice. How big is your farm?
50 acres.
50 acres?
Yeah.
Damn, dog, what you little black man coming there working that farm? I'm like, hey, come on, man, 50 acres. Give me one parcel. Give me 1 acre. Give me 2 acres, baby. 50 acres?
50 acres.
Damn, how much?
Do you know how big some of the farms are? Like that's
reasonably fucking massive.
Well, it's pretty big for where we live because I'm still close to everything.
I think it's pretty big anywhere around the world. Just to let you know that.
Well, we got. Do you know how big the farms we got? 1 million acre farms.
Acre farm
in Australia. There's.
What do you do with the 1 million acre farm?
I don't know. That's countries, man. Like honestly, I'm not lying when I say that.
What's a price tag on a 1 million acre farm?
Because where they are, it's just like desert stuff. You know what I mean? Like so, I don't even think it would be.
So when you bought
they'll probably be cents to an acre. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Honestly, maybe $1 an acre. You reckon that's about right? I think. Yeah, it would be something like that.
And when you bought your farm, was there a house on it already? Or did you have to bring power and all that stuff?
No. So I am
50 acres.
So I've got power, main power. So I'm off a natural spring. So we're getting my water from a natural spring, which is cool.
Okay,
we've got a system where I always got water from a natural spring. So it's sort of off grid, but not.
50 fucking acres.
50 acres. Still close to everything. So I feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere. You would think I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But still 20 minutes
everywhere you need to go.
To school. 25 minutes to the gym, 10 minutes to the highway.
Yeah, are you going to build houses on there for your family, like your daughters and stuff, or?
Well, I'm lucky enough that it has 2 residents already on there. So it has 2 houses already on there.
Oh, really?
So I'm we're doing them up. So
good fucking buy, dog.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, there's not many of those around with 2 actual houses on the farms because legally, you got to go through the council and all that to get them.
Gotcha.
So we're lucky enough to actually have
What's
them.
the I don't know if you know the law, but in Washington, sometimes like in a rural area, they'll say, okay, you have 5 acres per a house, right? So if you wanted to build, I don't know, 20 houses on that acreage or 5 acre, whatever it is there a certain rule of thumb? Could you build like 100 houses on that 50 acres?
You can't. No,
you can't. So there's a rule. Okay, that's awesome.
That's all got to go. You got to go. Everything's got to go through the council, the government, and all that sort of stuff. So even just growing a garage and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just putting a shed. Just putting a shed for the farm.
Yeah.
Still needs to go through the council and all that. Yeah. So it's a bit different. That's what I mean. To get approval for another house, it just doesn't happen. So I'm lucky enough where
how often do they come out there and check?
Hey.
How often do they come out and check?
Yeah, I don't know though.
He's all got a fucking big ass mansion out there.
Luckily, I know that they are both. They're both there, so I'm allowed to say it. So it's good. So if they come, I'm all good.
That's what's up, man. Well, that's a good buy. I mean, 50 acres, 3 houses on it already. You got your farm, you got your animals. Well, money well spent. Money well spent.
Yeah, it's pretty good, mate. I enjoy it.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, Alex, this is your opportunity to let the fans know how they support you. First off, thank you for taking the time to come here, talk to us here. I know you got a busy schedule, but the floor is yours.
I just appreciate you all. You can find me. You know where to find me. I got the YouTube as well. We're trying to do as good as these guys. These guys are doing good work. You know what I mean?
Fucking kill it, man. Don't.
We're doing all right as well. You know, Jakey does a great job. So, very happy with where it's going. Great, plenty of content coming. So, if you could head to my channels as well, I'd appreciate it. And for my guys, obviously, you know where to go.
Yeah. And obviously, we're going to be doing a giveaway too. We're going to have you sign some gloves. We typically do this for the MightyCast. I'll sign it. I sign gloves and you'll sign them. We give you a pair of gloves. That way you can give it away on your YouTube channel for your fans. And then we give one away for
awesome.
our YouTube channel. That way we want to show our appreciation for you taking the time and, coming to talk to us. Because it's, like I said, this is something that fills my cup. I always love talking to athletes and, I can always read the stories and hear about X, Y, and Z, but hearing it come from your mouth and your experience and just, going through the hardship. And when you said, battling adversity is a privilege, I was like, I'm at the gym with my son. I was like, it's supposed to be fucking hard. Yeah. Lift that fucking weight right now, son.
But yeah, you just build that empire. Keep going.
That's what's
Keep
up.
busting my ass and then enjoy it all. And then back to what we were saying earlier, man. We just ramble, don't we? We just like to rant. I rant all the time. Where was I going? I lost it. No, it's gone.
What was it about?
I think it was about... It's gone. Never mind.
We're talking about
it's probably
fighting.
better. Otherwise, we would have went another 20 minutes.
Yeah. We're talking about fighting. We're talking about champions going
it's
up.
literally what we're just talking about. But it's
how you spend your money?
Huh?
How you spend your money?
It's gone.
Okay,
I'll let it go. I'll let it go. It wasn't even that good anyway. It's all right.
I don't know. It might have been good, but it's all good. All right, boys.
We've ranted enough.
All right.
Can you notice we have been punched in the head or what?
Yeah, dude, I get that all the time. I was like, look at this guy, too much CTE. And I was like, you dumb fuckers. I was like, you know how hard it is to enunciate every single word and you're talking to different people and different names and this and that. It's a lot of work. But no, I'm a big fan. I love your work. I love the YouTube. Yeah, I can't wait to tell you my skit that I want to do when I do the Mighty Journey with you.
Let's do it.
50 acres can be perfect. All right.
Done.
If you guys enjoyed this episode of the MightyCast, please leave a like, subscribe. Also, hit the bell to know when we go live, and go give this man a follow. He's going to be taking on either Aaron Pico, Yair Rodriguez, or hopefully, Movsar. Guy's going to be on a 25 win streak where he gets the opportunity to fight you. So go subscribe to this channel, leave a like, subscribe. We will see you guys at the next episode of the MightyCast. He is our guest, Alex Volkanovski. I'm your host, Demetrious Johnson. Make sure you guys hit that like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next episode of the MightyCast. Boom.
Boom.
I appreciate you, man.
No worries, man. Thank you.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the MightyCast, and this is the part of the episode where we recap everything we just went through with our guest, and our guest was the great Alex Volkanovski, the champ at 145. Always good to talk to Alex. I picked against him to lose against Diego Lopes just because I felt that Alex, after having those two losses, he got knocked out both back-to-back, and then potentially, Diego Lopes, he stands and bangs. There's always an opportunity of an athlete getting caught, and I felt that Alex Volkanovski, he would have to be perfect for 25 minutes, and that's very, very fucking hard to do, but he was able to do it. He did a good job turning him, and he looked absolutely amazing in that fight, and to talk to him about the preparation, 16 weeks of no cheat meal, no alcohol, no nothing, and it all paid off. And to hear him talk about, his viewpoint on the ranking system, which is absolutely hilarious, and his viewpoint on the future or what's next, if it's going to be Aaron Pico.
Not to date this, but that is hilarious if Topuria is legitimately ranked third at featherweight. Like, we got to confirm that, but why? If there's anything that shows the dysfunction of those rankings and how meaningless they are, what argument could you have that Ilia Topuria is the third ranked just because he decided to leave? Like, that dude is the #1 featherweight as long as he decides to be at featherweight. Makes zero sense.
That's crazy because he was the champion. And since he should be at least, and I know Max just slept too because Max said he was going to 155.
No, yeah, Max is #1.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Yeah, like I said,
and even Lopes at #2 feels a little weird because he lost to Volk. So it's just I don't like the rankings either.
It's a very, very fucked up system that nobody understands, right? Dom says it's based on your pay. Volk doesn't know what the hell is going on either, and neither do we.
No, I mean, Gene Silva is going against Gene or John. I got to confirm. I'm pretty sure it's John Silva.
Yeah.
John Silva is going against Lopes, which is 13 versus 2. So it doesn't seem like the rankings figure into the bookmaking at all.
Yeah. And if Silva beats Lopes, does he become 2 or does he become 8, 7, 6, 5, 4?
Exactly. Does he take Lopez's spot? It doesn't make any sense.
We need to get someone on here to give us a clear cut of how the fucking rankings work if we're going to keep covering this sport.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah, but I will say with Volk, though, he is a guy that we kind of talk about a lot. There's the guys who are fighters and it's more of their styles, just like, okay, they're a fighter. They don't necessarily think about it too much beyond the fighting, but him and Dom and you, those are like GSP. I just think of you guys in a different class of martial artists. That's like when MMA was thought of, that's more of what was thought of than guys who just come in there and it's fine. The guys that come in there and they're just like, whatever, I want to go knock someone out, get paid. But I love the guys that he could, when we stop rolling the cameras, he's like, I could talk technique all day. And you could tell by just watching him fight. I mean, he's everything he does is, even when he lost to Topuria, it's not like he did anything wrong. It's just
he just got caught.
Yeah, exactly.
Got caught in that boxing, and that's what, you know. Like he said, I played Ilia Topuria's game. I didn't play my own game, right? And that's what Ilia Topuria is very good at. Is like forcing people to play that game that he's very well good at, and that's when he tends on knocking everybody out. And I think I want to do a mighty journey with him. I want to get out to Australia, and it'll be so fucking dope to do it before he fights. Hopefully we can make it happen because I would love to, but we'll see. And I would love to. One of the things I love about talking to him about was just the whole dynamic of taking time off from fighting, like taking time off from fighting himself. I know we talked a little bit about it on the last MightyCast we did, but to talk to him about it after he was successful of winning the belt again and then going back home with his daughters, giving the belt, his wife supporting him. It was cool to see how his viewpoint was like, man, maybe I should have taken that time off before fighting Ilia Topuria instead of getting knocked out by Islam Makhachev and then going through, you know, the concussion protocol. And then part of that concussion protocol was part of his training camp, getting ready for one of the heaviest hitters in the 145-pound division.
Yeah, and we've already talked about this before on the podcast, but Volkanovski, and I know you agree, he is the featherweight GOAT.
Yeah.
Topuria, he could have been. We'll never know because he left too early. But when you look at Jose Aldo, Max Holloway, Conor McGregor, you have to put Volk at number 1, which that is one of the greatest weight classes in UFC history. So to say you're the GOAT of that weight class, that holds a lot of weight. Yeah. So I think he's the GOAT. I'm curious to see who he goes against next. I pray. I seriously cannot talk about Yair. I'm getting sick of talking about it. I hope that it's not where they're going. But
I think it should be Movsar. I think if
it seems like Movsar's booked, so I guess we'll see who wins that.
I know he's booked, but I would like to see him. You know, why not book Movsar versus Alex Volkanovski and then Yair versus Aaron Pico? Like, why? I mean, why not?
That man right there, that would have made all the sense in the world.
All the sense in the world.
Pico did not. Well, I will say though, the one thing that doesn't make sense is Yair just had to fight Pitbull. So Yair might be like, "Oh, you're making me fight another Bellator guy coming in."
You could be
just go 2-0.
You be the gateway for people from, you know, the guys who coming over from PFL, Bellator. You're the gateway to see if they can, you know, get the opportunity to crack at the champion.
Now that you say it, that booking would have made all the sense in the world. There's
Why
no
not?
reason
I mean,
for it.
Aaron Pico, very good. He's had some losses in his career. It wasn't like his career he was blowing right out the water. He's been defeated before. A lot of people like to have short-term memory, and he's got some great knockouts as well. But why not have Yair fight Aaron Pico and then have Movsar, fucking 19-0, undefeated, unbeaten streak, give him finally the opportunity to fight for the belt? Like, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, these are the gloves. These are gloves that you guys can win.
The first form's so good that we finished them, so they're empty.
But why not give him... Fuck. Okay, you know what, we're gonna put it right here. Yeah. Why not give him the opportunity to fight for the belt? Because then it would make so much easier. Then if Yair wins, then you give him another title shot. He's on a 2-fight win streak. He just beat 2 amazing opponents. Granted, that fight hasn't been made yet. But then let's say Aaron Pico wins. Okay, then Aaron Pico could wait in a week, fight another contender, fight Gene Silva if Gene Silva gets past you. I mean, come on, man. I'm cooking up some shit.
It's frustrating, but if there's one thing I could say about Volk is that it doesn't matter who they put in front of him. He will fight
anybody.
He will fight on 12 days notice.
Yep.
He'll fight 16-week camp.
He'll fight Alex Pereira.
No, that's why always the meme if there's a fight that's canceled is like Volk. Yeah, Volk, just call Volk. Like,
Call Volk.
So I respect him as we have some frustration about like, oh, why are you fighting that guy? You could tell Volk doesn't care. He's just like, whoever they give to me, I'll just fight. And I'm sure since I was there for the Yair fight that if that does happen again, he would probably willingly accept it because I'm just being honest, I was there and it was not a competitive fight whatsoever. So
yeah. Well, there's always that chance. Yair has some good tool set, very unorthodox kicks, very explosive, very dangerous, but Volk's already beat him. I would love to see him get the opportunity to fight. Take Movsar 0-0, or, you know, if Aaron Pico's able to get past, you know, the next, or even if Topuria, you know, fancy to come back down doing a rematch, that'd be also nice too. So, but boys, once again, Michael Wanzover has come through for you guys. This was all Michael Wanzover's thought process of, you know, giving back to you guys. We have the champ, Alex Volkanovski, and myself signing this UFC glove. And you guys can win these gloves as well. We'll leave, you know, the description how you guys can win this glove in the comment section below. Excuse me, not the comment section, the community page. Go to Spotify, like, review us there, give us 5-star, and also
follow us on Spot. Come on, we have like approaching 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube. Where are you guys on Spotify? I think we only have like 40,000 on Spotify or something. Come on, we got to get those. That means there's like at least
about
1.5 million of you that could go.
Go on Spotify. 5-star. Leave a comment, review, and also obviously leave a comment in the YouTube section. And please, guys, leave like, subscribe, hit the bell, and let us know.
Yeah, and Volk's channel as well, because he's doing some great work cooking with Volk. At this restaurant, we're at Sushi Samba right now. We tried to get it done, but it was a little too last second. We'll get, if we do that mighty journey, I promise we'll do a good cooking with Volk.
I'm gonna bring some baked beans over there, baked beans and collard greens. I'm like, this is what we cook in the hood right here. Collard greens, pig feet, intestines. That's what you eat over there. He goes, we're not cooked that on the farm, mate. I reckon you throw that shit out the back, give you some of the spring water. So, but boys, go follow his channel. He also has another pair of the glove as well. He's going to do a giveaway. He'll let you guys know how you do that. All in all, amazing conversation with Alex Volkanovski, man. Leave a comment down below what your guys' favorite part of the episode was with Alex Volkanovski. I'm your host, Demetrious Johnson. That is my right-hand man, the producer, Michael Wanzover. We will see you guys at the next episode of the MightyCast.
Okay.
We fucking killed it. All right. Let's give them back the restaurant.